Great morning, everyone. Just give me 2 seconds and bear with. Just want to make sure we are getting the feed everywhere we need to be this morning. Good to see you all. And I believe I am getting that feed because I see Always Destined for Greatness has just joined. Great morning. Good to see you all. I want to thank you for being here this Saturday morning. It is a blessing. When I tell you it's a blessing, I'm not just saying that just to be saying it. I'm telling you now. Honestly, it's great to see you all. I'm just getting set up a little bit here, and we're just about ready to get started. Are you all excited? I'm excited to see you all. Yeah. I know. I'm grateful that IG is here. Yeah, great morning. Great morning. Great morning to all of you icons. It's such a blessing to be here before you on Saturday morning. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support on a weekly basis. Thank you. Um, Without you, as they say, there is no me to a degree. But what I mean by that is without you being here, without your support, without your need to be helped and supported, without your care and your concern for yourselves and for other people, and even for the others that are out here that I've yet to meet, without you, there's no me. There's no Mitch Race podcast, to be honest with you, because this is why the Mitch Race podcast was created. This is why it was given to me for purpose, for you, because I see you all, and I hear you, and I feel you. And I don't want to go too long because I'm ready to get started and get on with the business, as they say, of getting it on. But I am Mitch Race, and I help men. I help men who are distracted. I help middle-aged men. I help older, seasoned men who are distracted, who don't know their value, who are unclear. I help them to gain clarity and gain vision so they can become the best version of themselves and thrive and exceed and develop themselves while pursuing an income that matches their self-image. And I believe that income is a high-level income that matches their self-image. So today we're going to talk about something special. And it's really going to be very simple. It's going to be 4 things. And there are more, but there are 4 things that you should forgive yourself for. Give me 2 seconds. Four things that you should forgive yourself for. And the first thing that you should forgive yourself for, in my humble opinion, the first of those is not knowing better or knowing enough. Maya Angelou says, forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Maya Angelou. You probably heard other sayings such as, no man is an island. We don't know it all. Sometimes we don't know any better. Does anybody remember growing up and just not knowing a thing, but you went ahead and you did the thing and it was wrong? Do you remember being chastised? Do you remember being yelled at, punished in any way, disciplined? You might be able to recall the confusion in that moment for not knowing better, but do you feel forgiven? Do you feel forgiven in that, for that moment? Were you ever forgiven? Did you forgive yourself? Were you healed from that moment? some things happen in our lives and now, and some things are happening now, things that we do that because we just don't know any better. I know it seems hard to believe because you're figuring, oh, well, we should know by now. They should know by now. We should all know by now. But guess what? You don't. Sometimes we just don't. Sometimes others just don't. Because when you know better, you do better. And when you do better, you'll know that you're better. Some are still carrying the scars from that moment where things, where they were maybe disciplined, and just that they were really affected. Their self-esteem was affected. Their person was affected. Their personal life was affected. So some people are still carrying scars from when those things occurred, and they just because they haven't forgiven themselves for knowing better. They're thinking that they should have known better, and we might be thinking that too. And they're beating themselves up over it and reliving the pain of unforgiveness for not knowing better, even engaging in self-blame. And this is not healthy for your self-esteem. Self-blame is never good for your self-esteem. It's one of the things that you have to work on, and we have to work on as people, because we are human. We are human beings, but it's not healthy to engage in self-blame. So if this is you or someone you know, you should start forgiving yourself for not knowing better. The same goes for not knowing enough. You should forgive yourself for those times, past and present, that you do not or did not know enough, and learn to accept that you know enough and have the capacity to learn more. You don't need to know everything. We do not need to know everything. Um, I had received something, actually, I saw something on Reddit I'm going to share with you, and going to segue for a quick second. And it was a letter that someone had written. And they had said in the letter, my urge to know everything is destroying me. So I'm going to read you some of the letter. I've always been a person that greatly values knowledge and felt very happy looking up new information about the most random things. I would memorize loads of stuff, read up on random topics, and just generally spend a lot of time and energy searching for ways to know more. But for a few years, and with a lot more intensity in the last days, I've begun to feel overwhelmed. I just can't take in the amount of info and knowledge there is out there that's available to me. And this is ruining my ability to actually do stuff. I just feel stuck in place. Every time I come across a piece of information that I didn't have before, it just hits me with a really heavy sense that there's a lot of other stuff connected to this one piece of info, and that I may never have the time to look this up. And even if I have the time and research some of it, I would probably forget a lot of it soon. And that's just one field, one area of knowledge. There are many more out there, and I could theory more about it, but they go on and on and on. And they're saying things like, knowing all of this has made me a wreck. I have trouble focusing in anything now. And sometimes I get this sense of pointlessness about everything. Why bother studying in college now? I'll never be able to know everything anyway. Might as well give up now. At the same time, I try to remember something I studied before and fail. My stomach drops. They conclude with, I don't know how to deal with this and leave this mindset. And this is only a piece of the problem that I've been having with my mind as of late. It feels like a really heavy load right now, and I don't know what to do. That's deep. That's really deep. You don't have to know everything. And I think that the person is intelligent to know that they don't have to know everything. But obviously, it affects different people in different ways. That also kind of, leads to a perfectionism mindset, that we've talked about before, and we can continue to talk about. And the perfectionism mindset is dangerous as well. It's a distraction in itself, because we're going to struggle and we're going to work towards being perfect. There is nothing that is perfect. No one knows everything. There's nothing that's perfect. Things happen here on the Mitch Race podcast. They're not perfect. My intros are not perfect. There are things that I have to forgive myself for. There are things that you have to forgive yourself for. We have to forgive ourselves and learn how to forgive ourselves for not knowing everything. We can't be so hard on ourselves, whereas our self-esteem takes all of that in and believes it has no value. Because we're plenty valuable. You are valuable. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. We're here to talk about knowing your value, learning your value, knowing who you are, exploring your self-image, not worrying about what has happened, but moving forward towards greatness. That's why I love the name Always Destined for Greatness. That's Sonia Dungy. But we have to feel that way about ourselves. We need to big up ourselves to a degree, not to the degree our ego gets in the way, but we're valuable. We're too valuable to be caught up in certain things and certain notions about ourselves that just don't exist. Or if they do exist, they don't mean as much as we need as they think they mean, or as we want them to mean. In other words, they have as much value as we place on them. And if you place too much value on knowing everything, where are you really going? Where are we really going? So yeah, when you know better, you do better. When you do better, you'll know you're better. Another thing you should forgive yourself for. You should forgive yourself for not being where you want to be in your life right now. Wherever you are is where you are, whether for whatever reason, where you are is whatever's happening in your life is. And then if they're causing you creating problems, well, some things in life happen that can preclude our success and our happiness. You may have had a vision for your life at one time, but now feel that the time has passed for it to happen. You may be thinking that you should be so much further along in your life than you are now, and you're kicking yourself at every chance that you get. You might even be saying to yourself that my business should be making money hand over fist, and it's not. What's the matter with me? Why can't I do anything wrong? Why doesn't this work? Why does this happen to me right now? When is it going to change? Any number of things. And I know that we say these things to ourselves. I have. I'm going to admit it. I'll be the first one. But I'm also the first one to admit that I'm working on those things. And I can help you work through those things. Whatever position you may be in right now doesn't have to define where you will be. And if you're alive and have breath, or endeavor, you should just endeavor to be grateful. And you should forgive yourself for not being exactly where you are right now. Make a plan. Sit down with someone and make a change and move smartly towards where you want to be in your life. Move smartly. Find yourself a coach. Find yourself a master class. Find yourself a great audio. Find yourself a book. But don't try to know everything. Find yourself a community. That's something of even more, that's something that has a ton of value to it. A community can help you with all of that. They can help you make a plan. They can help you make a change. They can help you move smartly towards where you should be in your life. So you can say, I am now where I want to be. I am now where I want to be. I am where I may not be everything and have everything and be in a place where everything is rosy. No one is in their life. I've got plenty of things going on in my life, I assure you. But I can assure you that I have a plan. I can assure you that I've made a change, and I can assure you that I'm moving smartly and know how to move smartly towards those things, and that I can help in my particular zone of genius. And there are others out there who have a zone of genius too that they can help in. Invest in yourself, but forgive yourself for not being where you are or where you want to be in your life right now. You have 6 months to make a great change and for greatness to happen in your life, for some changes to be made. Maybe the first 6 months of the year weren't great. The first 6 months of the year were just horrendous. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically. But that's okay. Guess what? You get to make that change now. You get to make that change today. You get to make that change based on you. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be in an hour. It could be next year. But just know that you get to make that change. And what I'm saying is absolutely valid. Have you ever made a decision where you said, I'm gonna, and 5 months have gone by, 5 days have gone by, 5 years have gone by, and that one thing that you said you were going to do, you never did? What's the difference between that and saying now I'm gonna, and then, you know what? Making it happen, taking action towards your plan, towards your dreams, and towards your goals, and moving smartly towards where you want to be in your life. You can do that. We all can do that. We're all blessed with this capacity of a thing called, a mind, a brain, which is mighty. God did a great thing in giving us a mind. He did, giving us sound minds at that. All we have to do is just use it really and apply it. All we need to do is just make a plan and sit down with someone. So I encourage you to do that, but forgive yourself for where you are right now. So what's another thing that you should forgive yourself for? Forgive yourself for not having enough. Not having enough. You should forgive yourself for not having enough. For not having enough money, for not having enough patience, for not having enough friends, for not having enough love or happiness in your life. For not having enough of whatever it is you're lacking. Forgive yourself for not having it. Don't be so hard on yourself for not having it. And life is not easy sometimes. And sometimes we don't have enough. Sometimes we don't have enough money. Sometimes we don't have enough people in our lives that we really need. We don't have enough. But it doesn't mean also that we should be complacent and not pursue more. It just means that you should forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself for not having enough. Sometimes it's not your fault. And don't let not having enough define you so that your self-image suffers. Because you are not the sum of not having enough. Because the truth is that we're abundant and can't see it. If you're getting value from all of this, I'd like you just to put value in your comments. I'm going to go back over this and go as much over to some of the comments that come in towards the end of this podcast. But if you're getting value, let everyone know that you're getting value out of this, because this is important stuff. Don't let this define your self-image. Don't let not having enough stop you or define you. Because you can get more. That's the key. You can get more. You can have more. You are worth more. You are. Trust me when I tell you that. I see you and I feel you. At times, I am you. I feel these things too. But I'm not going to let it define me. Not having enough does not define me anymore. At one time, I almost let not having enough make a major decision. And if I had made that decision, I would not be here. I would not be here to add value, to help. I would not be walking in my purpose had I let, had I not having enough. And if I did not forgive myself for not having enough, I wouldn't be here. I had to change my mindset. That's the power of mentorship. That's the power of master classes. That's the power of masterclass teachers. That's the power of podcasts because they teach you. And that's why we're here. We're here to learn and grow together. So the fourth thing is this: you should forgive yourself for not doing enough. And that does not mean that you should even identify yourself as lazy, because most times we're not lazy. Sometimes we're just unmotivated. Sometimes we don't know better. Sometimes we're just unwilling in the moment because we don't know how to move forward, but not doing enough. You don't feel like you're doing enough and you haven't given yourself for that. And you need to forgive yourself for not doing enough. So to that degree, I say do something, learn something, contribute something, write something, journal something, pray something, because you can do something. You don't have to do everything either. And you made me feel like it's just not enough. I feel like I need to do more. There's 24 hours in a day. 24 hours in a day. Some might say there are 3 in 1 days, and that's a whole nother story and a whole nother training. And sometimes, let's face it, maybe it's true. Let's say that is true. I feel that sometimes. I don't feel sometimes like I am doing enough. But the key is I have learned to forgive myself for not doing enough, because not doing enough or if you haven't forgiven yourself for not doing enough, and you can have a ton of valid reasons and you can have a ton of invalid reasons. But you have to learn how to forgive yourself if you're not doing enough, and then do enough. Do some things. Find a way, add value, learn, go out there, listen to more podcasts like these. There's a ton of people in the community that have their own zone of geniuses, and you can listen to and learn from. And they're willing to share the knowledge and just give it away. And that's what we're doing. We're sharing the knowledge here and we're giving it away. I'm so grateful for you all, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you all so very much for being here with me this Saturday. And I'm still learning and I'm still growing. And I just wanted to share with you that I am Mitch Race, and I help middle-aged to seasoned professional men who are distracted, unclear, and don't know their value gain clarity and vision so that they can become the best version of themselves while earning their desired high-level income to match their image. See how easy that is? I want to thank you for being here again today and allowing me to share with you 4 things that you should forgive yourself for. This has been the Mitch Race Podcast, and I'm going to sign off. But before I do, I just want to check some of the comments. I want to thank you all for commenting, and I can see your comments here on Instagram, so I'm just going to read off a few if I may, and say good morning to you all that are here. I see you. Thank you so very much. I love you. You're welcome. Happy I could be transparent. Yes, I agree with you. This is a wonderful community of people that care about the world. Absolutely. Some of you out there are loving your 3-in-1 days. I know who you are. That is absolute God honest truth. Yes, always destined for greatness. This one here, be neither, yeah, that's right. Be neither defined nor confined by not having enough value. Absolutely. Always a constant reminder. I want to thank you that you're getting supreme value. Yes, knowing better. I want to thank you all for watching on IG, watching on YouTube, watching on Facebook. It's been a wonderful Saturday. I see some of you are just joining, and the podcast is just about over, so I'll just do a quick recap, and then we're gone. 4 things that you should forgive yourself for. Number 1, not knowing better or knowing enough. Number 2, you should forgive yourself for not being where you want to be in your life right now. Number 3, forgive yourself for not having enough. And number 4, forgive yourself for not doing enough. Again, thank you. This has been the Mitch Race Podcast. I am Mitch Race, and I want you all to have an exquisite, and lovely and blessed Saturday. Remember, reframe your vision, reframe your value, and reframe your victory. And I'll see you again next week. Thanks again. See ya.